What does a Chief Diversity Officer do? Hey there, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of HR University. Now, before we jump in, make sure to take a moment to subscribe to our channel, and that way you don't miss any of our other lessons on how to become great with diversity, equity, and inclusion, and also how to become a great HR professional. So a Chief Diversity Officer, or CDO, is a high-level executive responsible for ensuring that a company's policies, procedures, and practices promote diversity, equity, and inclusion. The CDO typically reports directly to the CEO or another top executive and collaborates with other departments, including HR, legal, and marketing, to develop and implement strategies for promoting diversity and inclusion. The CDO role is becoming increasingly important in recent years as companies recognize the need to create more diverse and inclusive workplaces, not just for ethical and moral reasons, but also for efficiency. The Chief Diversity Officer has several responsibilities. The essential duties are guiding employees and executives on DEI, in other words, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And next is promoting DEI culture, working as a company representative, handling legalization work related to DEI, providing strategic direction to DEI initiatives, and serving as a central DEI resource for employees. Now let's go over each responsibility here. As a Chief Diversity Officer, one of the key responsibilities is to guide employees and executives on matters related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This involves developing and implementing training programs, policies, and procedures that promote a culture of inclusivity within the organization. The CDO is also responsible for ensuring that all employees, including executives, understand the importance of DEI and their role in creating an inclusive workplace. This includes educating them on unconscious bias, microaggressions, and cultural competency. The CDO may also coach and support individual employees and executives to help them navigate complex DEI issues. And a Chief Diversity Officer must understand the organization's culture, values, and goals to effectively guide employees and executives on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And they must also identify areas where the organization falls short regarding DEI and develop strategies to address them. This might involve developing training programs, creating affinity groups, or implementing new policies and procedures. Additionally, a Chief Diversity Officer must have strong communication and educational skills. They must also effectively communicate the importance of DEI to employees and executives at all levels of the organization and educate them on best practices for promoting diversity and inclusion in the workplace. Next, let's go ahead and talk about promoting DEI culture. As a key leader in promoting DEI, the Chief Diversity Officer implements initiatives that foster a more inclusive work environment where all employees feel valued and respected regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, or other identity factors. And to do this, the Chief Diversity Officer may develop training programs and workshops to educate employees and executives on DEI issues and design programs to celebrate diversity and promote inclusive behaviors. And the goal is to create a workplace culture where everyone feels a sense of belonging and is empowered to contribute to the organization's success. Next, let's go ahead and talk about working as a company representative. As a company representative, a Chief Diversity Officer represents their organization's commitment to DEI in various forums such as industry events, conferences, and other mediums. They may speak publicly about their company's DEI efforts, share best practices, and contribute to thought leadership in the DEI space. They also collaborate with other DEI professionals in their industry in order to share insights and learnings. And in addition to external representation, the Chief Diversity Officer also represents the company internally, particularly to their employees. And they communicate the company's DEI initiatives, goals, and progress to the employees and act as a liaison between its leadership and diverse employee base. And they also conduct employee surveys, focus groups, and other feedback mechanisms in order to understand the workforce's needs and perspectives better and communicate those insights to the company's leadership team. And handling legalities for DEI includes ensuring that the company complies with all relevant laws and regulations related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and developing and implementing policies and procedures to mitigate any legal risks. The Chief Diversity Officer works with the company's legal team to guide on legal matters related to DEI, such as diversity hiring practices, equal pay, and workplace discrimination. And they're also responsible for investigating allegations of discrimination or harassment and ensuring appropriate actions that address any issues. And overall, the Chief Diversity Officer plays a crucial role in ensuring that the organization promotes a diverse, equitable, and inclusive workplace while mitigating legal risks associated with DEI. Now let's go over providing strategic directions for DEI initiatives. So this involves developing a comprehensive DEI strategy that aligns with the company's overall business goals. And the CDO integrates DEI initiatives into all aspects of the organization, including recruitment, hiring, promotions, training, and development. To provide strategic direction, the CDO must understand the organization's culture, values, goals, and the needs and perspectives of diverse employees and stakeholders. And the CDO must also be familiar with the latest trends and best practices in DEI and stay up to date with the changes in the legal and regulatory landscape. And once there's a DEI strategy, the CDO monitors and measures its effectiveness and makes adjustments. And this requires analyzing data, identifying trends, and communicating findings to relevant stakeholders, including senior leadership. And finally, as a central DEI resource for employees, the CDO is responsible for providing guidance, support, and resources to employees across the organization. And this involves developing and implementing programs, training, and initiatives to foster a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion. And the Chief Diversity Officer works with departments such as HR and management to develop and implement training and education programs promoting diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this includes creating or reviewing policies and procedures to ensure their alignment with DEI initiatives. In addition to supporting employees, the CDO may also serve as a liaison between the organization and external organizations and communities. Now, some of the skills that are important for this position is to have consensus building. So this is one of the most important skills because a CDO is building consensus across a diverse set of stakeholders. They must effectively communicate with employees, executives, and external partners to build support for DEI initiatives, which can sometimes be very difficult. And the next skill is strategic planning. A CDO must think strategically and develop long-term plans that align with the company's overall goals. They must have a clear vision for how DEI initiatives will contribute to the company's success. Next, we have the knowledge of diversity, equity, and inclusion as well. As the title suggests, DEI is at the core of the Chief Diversity Officer's responsibilities. They must understand the issues related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, and apply this knowledge to drive change within the company. Next, we have problem-solving skills. The CDO must identify and solve complex problems related to DEI. And this requires critical thinking and the ability to analyze data and information. Then we have program and budget management skills. A Chief Diversity Officer must manage complex programs and initiatives, often with limited resources. And this requires strong budgeting and project management skills. And finally here, we have leading and mentoring skills. A Chief Diversity Officer must be a strong leader who inspires and mentors others. And they must build and lead a team of DEI professionals and work with employees across the company to build a culture of diversity, equity, and inclusion, whether that's creating employee resource groups or other initiatives. And there we have it. We just went over who a Chief Diversity Officer is, their roles and responsibilities. And if you feel like you have a better understanding of just that, make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel. And that way, keep up to date with all of our lessons on DEI, as well as all of our lessons on how to become a great management professional. And I'll go ahead and see you on some of those other lessons as well. And again, my name is Josh. I'm the founder of HR University, and we'll rock and roll from here. Cheers.